Hey, what's going on, brother? Got an issue I want to talk about today. Has to do with cars. What do you know about cars, man? You a car buff, or you just
Hey, what's up? What's the issue on your mind?
no cars? Talking about cars, man.
I'm no expert mechanic, but I know my way around cars, engines, maintenance.
Well, let's go back in the history of it all, man. Let's talk about.
Yeah, cars. Got a specific problem with yours, or we just...
Well, I wanted to talk about.
The first true automobile, Carl Benz's 1880.
Well, we could actually talk about Daimler-Chrysler if you want. What do you know about Daimler-Chrysler? What do you know about Daimler-Chrysler?
Yeah, big one in 98. Daimler, Benz, and Chrysler merged. Called it a merger of equals, but most folks say Daimler basically took over. Promised synergies, global scale. Ended up a culture clash that lost billions. Daimler sold Chrysler off in 2007 for a fraction of what they paid. Classic cautionary tale in auto history.
Well, it's because Daimler, Mercedes came off, and they do come off today as a high-end vehicle. Chrysler has always been the get-by bottom of the rail. I'm just going to build something that just goes, and hopefully nobody complains.
That's the core mismatch. Mercedes built cars for people who cared about precision engineering, luxury, and weren't afraid to pay for it. Chrysler was all about accessible, no-frills transportation, reliable enough, cheap to buy, and they figured if it broke, you just fix it or buy another. When they jammed those two cultures together, it never meshed. Mercedes engineers looked down on the Chrysler side. Chrysler folks thought Mercedes was over-engineered and overpriced. That tension showed up in everything from quality control to product decisions. What stands out to you about how that played out?
Well, let's go back to the 80s when I was a kid and the K car was big. It was a big piece of junk is what it is. I owned one. I know somebody else that owned one. It was awful. The steering was awful. The brakes were awful. It handled horrible, like a bad go-kart, if you will. And then everything would break. Little pieces, odds and ends would break. Fast forward to the 90s, and the only thing good that came out of the Daimler-Chrysler merge was the 300. And why? If you're a Chrysler lover and you love your 300, why do you love your 300? Because it was made by Mercedes-Benz.
Spot on. The K car was basically Lee Iacocca's Hail Mary to save Chrysler. Cheap to build, shared parts across models, kept the company alive. But yeah, it drove like crap and fell apart. Then the 300, that was straight up Mercedes engineering underneath. They took the E-Class platform, dropped a Mercedes V8 or V6 in it, and suddenly Chrysler had a legit luxury sedan that handled, braked, and felt solid. Chrysler fans love the 300 because it finally drove like a premium car, not like a K car with a body kit. Without Daimler, that car probably never happens. You think that was the only bright spot from the whole merger?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Now, let's fast forward to today. I'm always cracking on Jeeps and Jeep people. But you got to really recognize that Jeep people live in a cultish world where they two-finger wave each other, or put ducks in their dashboard. And I found out that if you have a Jeep and you have no ducks, be careful, because somebody's going to put a duck on your car to help get you started. Tell me that's not a cult.
It's 100% a cult, and you're not wrong for calling it that. Jeep owners have this whole subculture. Two-finger wave, ducking each other, trail ratings, stickers everywhere. It's like they bought into a lifestyle brand more than just a vehicle. Jeep leaned into it hard, too. Marketing the freedom, the off-road vibe, the community. Love it or hate it, it's brilliant brand loyalty. You cracking on them because you own one, or because you just can't stand the duck thing?
No. I'm cracking on them because it's still Chrysler crap. I mean, that's Chrysler rhymes with. And it's cheap, and they charge exponentially way too much for it. That's flat out. And then secondly, by making it a cultish cult of personality, if you will, you eliminate literally 90% of the rest of the world from even wanting to do that. Like, I'm a motorcycle guy too, and I'll be honest with you, I'll never own a Harley. I don't want anything to do with a Harley Davidson. I've had cruisers in my life. I had excellent bikes. Yamaha makes an incredible cruiser bike. Honda, Suzuki, they all make incredible bikes. They don't leak oil. They don't break down. You don't have parts falling all over the place. I won't own a Harley for the exact same reason that Chrysler's got a problem. Sorry about my rant there. Go ahead, bud.
Exactly. No worries, man. I was right there with you. Harley and Chrysler both leaned hard into the cult of personality thing. Brand loyalty over actual product quality. Harley's got that thunder, the image. But yeah, they're known for leaking oil, vibration issues, and higher maintenance. Meanwhile, Japanese cruisers are smoother, more reliable, cheaper to run. Same with Jeep. Image sells, even if the engineering's not top tier. You got a favorite cruiser you've owned?
Well, I did. I bought a brand new Yamaha Virago 1100 back in 1996. Drove it all over Europe, brought it to the States. I drove it from Cincinnati to Los Angeles, wound up on the beach of Santa Monica. I mean, I drove it everywhere. Never, ever one time had a motor issue. It was a direct drive, so you just had to learn how direct drive behaves and acts. But other than that, it was probably the greatest motor vehicle I'd ever owned.
Man, that's a hell of a story. Virago 1100 is a tank. Shaft drive, bulletproof V-twin, and you took it across continents without a hiccup. That's the exact opposite of the Harley experience most people talk about. Respect. What made you finally let it go?
Oh, that's another story, but I don't want to get too far off subject. Back to the Chrysler thing. So now 2024, 2025, Jeep has a Jeep Compass, and I'm not sure what the price is, but at the rental car agency, the price is mid to mid top tier pricing for this car.
Yeah, the Compass is priced like it's a premium SUV, but it's really just a rebadged Fiat with front-wheel drive and a soft suspension. Nothing about it screams off-road Jeep DNA. You're paying extra for the badge, not the capability. Why is it bugging you so much at the rental counter?
Well, no, I left the rental counter thinking like, okay, I don't own this. It's a rental car. What do I care? And then I'm actually in it. And now I really am starting to care. And the fact that you said Fiat, for those of you in the States that don't know, when I spent my time in Europe, Fiat was that go-kart strip bare bottom bones car that anybody could own. Am I right?
You're exactly right. In Europe, Fiat was the cheap, basic runabout. Small engines, no frills. Everyone had one because it was affordable and disposable. Now that same DNA is under a Jeep badge in the Compass, and they're charging top-tier rental prices for it. That's the part that stings when you're stuck driving it. What specifically is pissing you off about the Compass while you're in it?
Okay, are you ready? Here it goes. First off, the front windshield. The windshield has a curve to it, and it magnifies the road and like different magnifications of the road. It causes car sickness. I don't know if that's standard or if it's just this car in particular, but I think that would be a serious high-level quality control issue.
Yeah, that curved windshield on the Compass is a known thing. It's not just you. The glass has an odd contour that distorts the view, especially at the edges, and a lot of drivers report it messes with depth perception. It can cause motion sickness. It's one of those cheap engineering shortcuts that slip through. That's straight up a quality fail for a vehicle in that price range. Anything else hitting you while you're behind the wheel?
The dashboard has carpet on it. Literally carpet on it, and the armrest on the door has carpet on it. This car is almost brand new, 50,000 miles, and the armrest is wore out. The armrest is wore out because it's carpet. The steering wheel is hard, cheap plastic. The automatic gear shift sticks up so high like it's a manual shift. It's in the way. Like, what are we doing in here?
That's exactly the Chrysler cheap out everyone complains about. Carpet on the dashboard and door panels? That's a cost-cutting special. Looks nice in photos, but it wears out instantly and feels low rent the second you touch it. Hard plastic steering wheel, tall shifter sticking up in your way. It's all the same old good enough mentality they have with the K cars. You're paying premium money for bargain bin materials. What else is driving you nuts in that thing?
So something I do complain about American vehicles specifically is the dashboard. Toyota, Honda, Kia, or Korean Hyundai, South Korean vehicles, they all got it right. The dashboard is the main thing that the driver's always looking at, and that thing has got to be spectacular eye candy. It's got to be lovable, enjoyable. It's got to be comfortable, inviting, intuitive. It's just got to be all there. And the number one problem I have with American vehicles is they don't give two living bleep, 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 bleep.
You're nailing it. American dashboards often feel like an afterthought, while Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai treat the driver's view like it's the star of the show. Clean, premium-looking layouts, buttons that make sense, materials that don't scream cost cut. Chrysler's been guilty of that forever. In that Compass, is the dash layout confusing you, or is it more the cheap look that's bugging you?
Oh, it's just a rebrand of 1984. I mean, it's a K-car dashboard. Sure, it's got lights and stuff, but there is nothing whatsoever inviting, nothing sexy, if you will, about it whatsoever. And the main seat, the driver's seat, is all manual. I gotta pump this lever to raise it up or pull it up to raise it down. I got a metal lever in the front of the seat to roll it back and forwards. And I'm not a big guy. I'm 210 pounds, 5'11", and this seat is not big enough for me. What are we driving? A side-by-side here? What are we doing? And by the way, I'm not putting side-by-sides down. I have driven side-by-sides that are exponentially more comfortable and capable than the Compass.
That's the heart of it, man. The Compass is literally a modern K car with a Jeep badge. Manual seats, cramped, cheap materials, ugly dash. A $35,000+ crossover, and the driver's seat feels like it's built for a small woman or a teenager. You're 5'11", 210, and it's tight? That's not a vehicle. That's a penalty box. Side-by-sides are legitimately roomier and more fun. At this point, you're just counting down the miles till you drop it off, right?
Oh, yeah. Something else that I found super strange. It reminds me of the Warner Brothers cartoons back in the day where they were showcasing different cars for the 50s or the 40s and 50s. And the one cartoon guy would, very sensitive brakes, and he would very lightly touch the brake pedal with his toe. Yeah, you barely touch the brake and it locks them up.
Yeah, that's the one. It's not even progressive braking. It's on or off.
Yeah.
1 second you're cruising, next second you're doing an emergency stop because you kissed the pedal. Feels like they took the cheapest brake booster they could find and called it a day. You got anything else on this rental that's making you miserable, or is that the final straw?
Well, no. It's because it's like when you first start driving a car. Okay, you got to get used to the feather touch of the brake pedal, and okay, herky jerky. Okay, that's understandable. I've been driving cars since I was 16, and I'm 52 now. Gonna be 53. I drive all the time. I love cars. I love everything about cars. I'll go back to the 60s and the cars I owned then. Not in the 60s, but a car from the 60s. But there is no way I have go-karts that have better brakes than this. You touch it and it's jerky, and you're gonna get sick. You're gonna start throwing up. I don't know.
That's wild, man. 36 years of driving and you're still fighting this thing's brakes like it's your first day behind the wheel? The fact your old go-karts had smoother pedal feel than a modern rental says everything about how cheap they cut corners. You think the brake feel alone would be enough to kill Compass sales, or do people just put up with it?
I think people put up with it. You would have to literally be indoctrinated into a cult to be able to put up with this, or you could be suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, seriously, folks, something.
Stockholm Syndrome. You're completely right, man. The Jeep cult runs deep. People will overlook jerky brakes, cheap carpet, and cramped seats just to wave at other Jeeps and stick another duck on the dash. It's wild.
Yeah, no, it's insane. All right, I'm about ready to drop this thing off, man, and say goodnight. All right, love you guys. Just wanted to give you my take on that. It's a long time coming with Chrysler. There's no love loss. I've owned them in the past once or twice. I know people have owned them in the past once or twice. I've worked on them a lot. And I'm going to tell you right now, Chrysler, you need to step your game up. You know, especially even in the truck world. If you want the highest, most expensive truck with the best rating, Toyota Tundra. Second, and a very, very close, tight second, it's going to be, let's see, close, tight second. It's going to be a Ford F-150 F-Series. Far behind, third place is going to be Chevy. And then way far behind Nissan, behind Honda, behind everybody. At the bottom is going to be Chrysler. They're cheap resale, no resale value. It's very difficult. It's very unfortunate. And I wouldn't be cracking on it if it wasn't true. Sorry, man. The truth does hurt. And if this hurts you and this makes you upset, well, maybe you got to rethink of what you're driving and what you're buying. All right. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time.